an ape who distrusts humans and wants to put the kibosh on them before they can put the kibosh on him, versus an ape who would like to coexist with the humans in this brave new world despite their flaws. Which ends by teasing a movie where the last surviving intelligent dregs of humanity are going to have to go to war with their more enlightened sapient overlords. We saw you liked Lucky Charms 10 years ago, so you'll love Marshmallow Mateys today. And if we sell enough of this crap, fear not, because then we'll get Tutti Fruttis up in the mix. If you want to continue your dormant franchise by redoing the good movies in your franchise, hey, have at it. You do you. Coexist, bumper sticker. You are, however, gonna have a couple problems. A couple years from now, people are not still going to be rewatching Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes because of the good story that it told with its super original plot. They're gonna be rewatching Dawn just like they are right now. And the other movies knew this. That's why they were so good at differentiating themselves from one another. You wanna know why Rise comes before Dawn, even though solarly speaking, that doesn't make any sense? The first movie is obviously the human world, just regular vanilla standard mode, with human rulers and ape prisoners or whatever you want to call them. And over the course of the movie, there is an uprising against the humans. That's what makes that no moment so good. In Dawn, we're now in a world where the planet is sort of just naturally being handed over to the apes, which is fleshed out over the perspectives of an untrusting ape and an untrusting human, and a generous ape and a generous human, which is a pretty good way to flesh that concept out. The movie tells the story of how we went from A to B, the dawn of the true planet in this franchise. And then War really showcases that human desperation being cranked up to 11 by sort of abandoning the hopes for reconciliation and more just focusing on putting that final nail in the human coffin. A nail which Kingdom decides to take the back of the hammer and promptly unnail. That's the second problem. The good from before is lessened. You're creating something that's detrimental to the goal that your franchise already cranked out. This movie will make it seem like humans are down for the count, just like the last movie sort of implied and was kind of the whole point of, only to then stop on a dime, whip around, and promptly smack you in the face by saying, actually, humans are back and fighting. This one talks real good. Oh, this is the other one that talks real good. We forgot to mention that. Also, here's a post-credit scene that says that war is coming again for no reason. Bye! You're undoing the clear intentions of the very intentionally crafted narrative that came before you. Remember in Rise when apes could barely speak, if at all, and it was really difficult and they had to use sign language like 100% of the time, and then we went to Dawn where they were starting to get it, and then in War they got it even more, and then in Kingdom they've made no progress on this front even though it takes place like 100 or 300 years in the future. Yeah, that's frustrating! Caesar's sacrifice in War not mattering as much retroactively is frustrating. Putting a purely expositional character in the middle of your movie just to talk about what happened in a better movie is frustrating. This movie doesn't get it. It's so in love with what came before, and despite trying to do its own thing in the beginning, ends up resting on those laurels for most of it, and it didn't have to be that way. Be a good sequel. Be new. They gave you a flow chart. All you had to do was continue it. Continue the apes evolving. Maybe ASL is less of a form of communication and more of a cultural aspect at this point. Maybe they can finally talk normal now. Maybe they're not still fawning and gushing over what humans used to be, and maybe they can actually read themselves. Maybe humans are the ones who return to silence and dumbness en masse, like what we've been building towards for so long. Apes continue forward and humans continue backward, naturally. You had Rise, then Dawn, then War, now Kingdom. Ape v ape in an ape world. That's what's new. That's what hasn't been done before. That's the environment in which what this movie has going for it that makes it really unique and compelling in the beginning can really shine. Because as it stands, old installments in the franchise don't just compose the main themes and ideas that are actually explored throughout this movie. The old movies infect this one. They shift focus away from what should matter. So it's not just a bad result from a meta aspect, but it also damages itself even standalone, which is arguably the greater wrongdoing here. And I'm going to get into that for a couple more minutes in this video right here.